is that? Why don't we convince people to give us their money? And we hold it for them and tell them it's safe. Hold on, man. Why wouldn't their money be safe?
Got it.
Hi, welcome to This Is Your Spotlight. I am your host, Eurydice Roman. That's right. This show is going to be enlightening. It's going to be fun, maybe a little bit profound.
You never know.
We're not going swimming in the pool here, but
No.
just in case. Today I have a great guest. His name is Tony Papadog.
Thank you.
I met Tony officially. It was so brief. It was like, oh, you've been hanging out with so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I met him at Caramba right here by my neighborhood. It was like a brief thing. And he was performing comedy for the crowd there. And then next time I saw him was Comedy in Harlem. So I liked his real, his honest. It's not self-deprecating humor, which a lot of comedians kind of tend to like wander into. It's more real life storytelling, and he finds a way to just get to the point and make it funny and exaggerate some elements, like a good comedian does. So I believed he was worthy of the spotlight. We're shining on him today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for shining the spotlight on me.
Of course. So, Tony, welcome to the show. What do you want everybody to know about Tony?
What do I want them to know about me?
Yeah, sure.
I want them to start paying attention and start coming out to more shows. That's what I need them to do. That's what I need people to do. Go follow me on Instagram or whatever. Say you're on Facebook, whatever. Find me and follow me and come to shows. That's all I need people to do, and share my stuff.
Okay.
Apparently, that seems to be the thing. Because funny doesn't matter. Asses in seats matters, I think, more than funny.
There you go. So how did you get started in comedy?
Officially, like stand-up comedy? Okay. Official stand-up comedy. The very first time I got on stage was about 6 years ago. And I walked into one bar, and I met a guy in the neighborhood because I'm an implant from the Bronx. From Queens into the Bronx. And he was like, oh, there's comedy. I don't know how comedy got brought up in the situation, but he was like, oh, there's comedy at this place called Havana Cafe. It's down the block. The guy does it Monday nights. So I walked in there with my wife. We used to go there anyway. We didn't know there was comedy on Mondays. And she grabbed the host, Imagine, and she said to him, my husband wants to do comedy. My husband wants to do stand-up. And he's like, all right, I'll put him on right now. And I was like, no, thank you. I'll be back next Monday. And I went back next Monday. And I was terrible.
Oh.
Mark Vieira was the closer. I think it was only Imagine, me, and Mark Vieira.
Oh, wow.
And I was terrible. And I continued to be terrible for years. Every Monday night, that's where I would go. And I would be terrible there. And then I would go out to other comedy clubs and stuff and be good there. It was the strangest thing.
What did you think was the reason for that? Was it the crowd? Was it...
Well, the Bronx is different. The Bronx is different. The Bronx will hurt your feelings. You know?
They sure will.
Yes, they will. And I called it the Havana Wave. I still call it the Havana Wave because I still go there every Monday night. But they listen to me now, and I have their hearts. You know what I mean? I have fans. They defend me in that place. Even if I bomb and another comic comes up after me and tries to, usually it's like younger comics, they'll defend me. They'll just give them the Havana Wave. They won't even listen to them no more.
Aww.
So that's my home base. I forgot where that question started. Sorry.
No, but that's how you got started. So that's good though. Wow, you started in the Bronx? Ooh, shout out
It's
to
in
the
the Bronx.
Bronx.
It's in the Bronx. It's a Monday
Shout out
night.
to the ex.
And yeah, it's been going for, I don't know, about 11 years every Monday night. It's a free show. You
Mm,
you don't have to make reservations.
mm,
Starts at 9:15, 9:30. It's always a great show. And
mm.
every Monday I try to be there. That's the place I go to create. You
Interesting.
understand? That's the place I go, and before anything is anything, that's where the thoughts come from, being on stage over there,
Mm,
which I record every set. Not video, but
mhm.
pretty much every set I've done in Havana, from the terrible, 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 terrible. I have like 300 and something sets recorded at Havana Cafe.
No way. Jesus.
Crazy.
Mm. I was gonna ask you, so you got started that way, with the Havana Wave, and you won
Right.
the hearts and minds of the people at that location.
Correct.
So whenever you go to another location, what's
Right.
kind of like do you read the room before you start? Are you like, "Ah,
Always. I
okay.
always read the room.
Mhm.
And I think because I bartended for so many years,
Ah,
that, you know, I don't know, stand-up comics who've been doing stand-up comedy for a very long period of time will probably disagree with me. But to me, that was just my form of stand-up comedy, I guess. I'm there with an audience. I've done shows with lesser of an audience than what would be sitting at a bar. I did the same thing for many years, which was entertain people and serve drinks in between. But my forte was my personality. So what's happening now with my comedy is the comfortability of what I had achieved behind a bar. You could throw me behind any bar, and within a matter of 10 minutes, as long as I know where everything is, I was so comfortable that that part of it didn't matter.
well,
So
mhm.
it's an evolution of what I used to do behind the bar on stage.
Okay. But see, the reputation for bartenders, according to society, it's like they're supposed to be like your own personal shrink, but they serve you a drink. So it's like a
Yeah,
shrink
but you
but a
see,
drink.
that's the thing. I don't have to do that part of it anymore. I don't have to listen to, because I used to, you're right. I used to have to listen to their stuff because why? Because they were tipping me. So I needed to eat. Now I could just tell them what's on my mind. I have a microphone. I'm the loud one.
I
You
like it.
understand?
I have a microphone. I'm the loud one, and you
That's
will
right.
hear me out, whether you like it or not.
Somebody told me, I don't know, other people tell me that, oh, your voice is soothing. I don't think I have a soothing voice. If you ask my wife, I'm sure she'll agree I do not have a soothing voice in any way, shape, or form. But people pay attention when I start talking. I don't know why.
No, gotta be that Greek charisma, bro. Gotta be
Gotta
that
be something.
Riz.
Gotta be something.
Yeah, because it's funny. When I saw you perform, I was looking at him like, he's sitting down. That's cool, and he's just cool with it. Like nothing. He sees like it's nothing's gonna bother him. It's gonna just roll off his shoulder, and he's just gonna go with it. And I wish to work myself up to that point. I'm very fortunate that I have this television show, and having this show is like really a saving grace for me, honestly, because it's taught me how to manage my time as best as I can, and also how to go up to people and be like, listen, I believe you need to be on TV and you need to speak and talk about your platform and what you do for the community. Because ultimately, the show is just about spotlighting people who are doing good and positive things, whether it's comedy, whether it's charity work, whether it's community work as a doctor, whether it's DJ work and stuff like that. And DJs also do a community service for sure because the way some people
That,
get when they talk to their DJs when they're drunk is like, oof, child. Hmm. You really want to go there? Okay, cool, good for you, but a little
well,
worrisome though.
Don't talk to him.
So yeah, no. And I think it's admirable what you do, honestly. Because if you didn't decide to do that, you wouldn't find your audience and you wouldn't have found people to back you up, as you're saying. Which
Wow.
is awesome,
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly.
I'm just a rare case. You know what I mean? I'm a rare case who's,
Nice on a rare case.
I don't know. It's just strange that like
Mm.
my comedy was born in the Bronx. My stand-up comedy was born in the Bronx. I think it was born years prior,
Mhm, mhm.
but whatever. We'll let the audience be the judge.
Well, okay. All right. So shout out to the ex. So
Yeah,
I
shout
like
out
to
to the
say honest.
Bronx. Shout out to Astoria too. I'm not shunning my Greeks. It's
No,
just
of
they need to
course,
get
of
off
course, of course.
well, they need to get
No,
off their
hala
asses.
pride, honestly. Hella pride.
We got to get up
Or
and
halas
then
pride.
start coming out. That's it. Start coming out to shows
Yeah, like come on, support people. Like what's so difficult about saying I'm gonna show up to a show, I'm
and
gonna,
show it up.
have a few laughs, maybe get blasted, but support this person because this person is doing something and saying something that I could align with, or I could, I can message you. It's like, all right, cool. We're good.
I think people don't want to laugh anymore. I don't
At
think
least
people
that,
want to.
you know?
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, what keeps you going in comedy is a good question.
What keeps me going? If you asked me that question 2 months ago or like a month and a half ago, I would have been like, I'm done with it. I hate it. It's finished.
Mm,
Uh right now, what keeps me going with it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's a love hate thing. You know what I mean? It's this. It really is this. But every time I come out of one of these, I feel as though I'm higher. You know what I mean? So it's not like this. It's like this. Sometimes it's like that, but then you end up here, and you're like, do it no more. So I'm kind of like here somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm like somewhere over here. What keeps you going? I have something to say, and I think people need to hear it. What that is, I'm still trying to figure out. You know what I mean?
wow.
I don't know. I think the world needs to hear something from our time. By our time, I mean yours and mine, right? We're maybe like a decade or so apart. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
two
are.
decades.
We are.
But, you know, when you were being born, I was, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. So that's within the realm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think a lot of what's being talked about nowadays, it's just like, I don't hear a lot of real. I don't hear a lot of real, what the hell's really on your mind kind of thing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people still kind of, I don't know, succumb to being politically correct for the most part, let's say. That kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Just to have a career when it's like, I have a career. Is it what I like to do? Well, it's what I do to earn my numbers. I don't even call it a job anymore. I call it the place I go in the daytime to earn my numbers. And the place I go at nighttime to satisfy my soul. That's why I do it. To satisfy my soul.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
To keep my sanity. To keep myself from going to a psychiatrist.
Ha! I'll be 100% honest. It's kind of the same thing with me. I do have a day job. So I feel like the day job funds the media stuff.
For now.
Whether I want to go to a film festival, whether I want to go to like do an open mic or, do the podcast, do the television shows I'm doing for the last like it's going on 3.5, 4 years next year. This is
Very
season
nice.
4, so I am very grateful for this. And
Very
I'm
nice.
grateful the fact that I'm on 2 channels. It was no easy feat to get on 2 channels, by the way.
But you did it.
No, no, no. because I started out with BronxNet. Shout out to them. And I was just sitting there. This was pandemic inspired. I was sitting there and I was just looking at stuff on BronxNet. I was just like, you know what? I could do the same dang thing. Honestly, I really could.
Right.
I have my degree in film and video production. What am I just like schlepping here and just like not putting content out there? I'm sure I could meet and speak to people that are doing fantastic and great things. Honestly. So it's like, what am I waiting for? Really? What am I waiting for? Put in the application. Then it was like what, January of 2021. I started recording. My first episode was March. And then the whole year passed by on BronxNet. And then I went over to Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. And I forgot that I had a producer's credit that I never activated since like 2014. And I was just like, oh, they're like, yeah, you're in the system. I'm like, oh, snap, right. Oh, okay. So now I actually have content to produce. So now I'm on BronxNet and MNN, and I'm on literally the same day, the same time slot.
I think I did stand up at
Yes, the funnies with Up in Space.
with Upa.
Yes.
I did her show once or twice, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
So I'm also trying to talk to her as well and see if I could do one. I sat there for an audience and I was like, oh, this is very small. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, the studio spaces are super small and tight. I was like, oof. I thought it would be like at least a little bigger, but the cameras are
No, when you're starting out as a comic, you really realize how crappy comedy clubs are. They're really just crappy basements. It's crazy. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, I can't wait till I get there. I can't wait till I get there. And it's like, this is there? Nah, I'm good.
Exactly. No, my reaction is when I say when I go to the comedy clubs and they're like in the basement and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is, I feel like a sign that says all hope dies when you enter here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. And there's just so much comedy and there's so much free comedy, and I think it's oversaturated.
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's an
So
oversaturated market.
bonkers. I was like, what the heck? Why?
And you just
And
got to create your own lane. You got to create your own lane. Like in my mind,
mhm.
People say, "Oh, you give me your best 10-minute set," or I don't have a best 10-minute set. I'm going to walk into the room, and based on what I see, I'm going to give you a set that's catered to that room. And the only thing I really know, like I know I have my jokes that have been written over the course of whatever time I know, but I don't know what I'm going to say word for word when I get out there. I just know what my opener is going to be. And then from there, we take it. If the opener falls flat, well, you better have a backup, Tony. And it's different. Like whatever set I'm doing, if I'm not getting paid, you're going to get what you're going to get out of me. I'm going to be up there and I'm going to be enjoying myself. I'm going to be exploring what it is I'm doing. You might get a winner. You might not. But if you're paying me, I'm going to be more, you're going to get a good set.
Wow.
Because you got to guarantee stuff. I'm not guaranteeing you that you might not get, you're not going to get some crazy out of me.
Oh no,
But
not the crazy, Tony, not the crazy.
Well, that's part of it. You got to accept that. You got to accept it.
Okay. All right. All right. I get it.
You get it. I mean, look at all the great comics throughout the course of history. Every single one of them was individual. They were an individual. And that's what made them a great comic, correct?
Correct.
They were just being themselves, or they portrayed whatever character it was that they wanted to portray to. And if that was themselves or their true selves, Richard Pryor was Richard Pryor. I think he was the same way probably on stage or off stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so on and so forth. George Carlin, take those guys.
Yeah.
Well, how can you sit?
So you don't think that people, once the lights are on and the microphone's in their face, that you don't think people morph into something for the convenience, or you think?
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Right.
I just know that the funniest version of me
Right.
is me.
Of course.
So the more me I can be on stage, the better a show the audience is going to get.
Honestly, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
I don't know. And anybody that knows me or has seen me or is a fan of mine,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they like. They like the fact that I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been points in time I've been on stage and I'm actually just creating a joke on stage, and then the punchline's just not there. So I stop and I say, well, that will be a joke one day. Thank you for listening up until that point. And maybe the next
You
time
did
they
do
see
that
it,
at
it'll
one
be
point,
finished.
and I was just like, "All right, okay, cool." I was like, I don't think let's see. I ramble when I'm nervous because sometimes I try to find or I laugh. Like for example, when I'm doing comedy, I laugh when I do my own comedy sometimes. You know? Like I catch myself laughing. So I guess you know what they say. If you laugh at yourself, some people will laugh with you or laugh at you, like depending on
Who cares?
what's
As
the
long as
crowd
you're
and what's the
laughing.
gauge of what you're going for. So yeah. I was like, okay.
As long as they're laughing, who cares?
No, exactly. Like, for example, um, I did a set recently, and it's my highest like short clip that I've had on YouTube since I started my YouTube channel in 2021. The first line that I came out with afterwards, the first line out of my mouth was, "Oh, I haven't been here for a while." To the point that I had a comedian say, "Oh, I haven't seen you in 2 months. Like, what happened to you?" I said, "I work, mofo. Like I have a day job, sir. This is cheap therapy at its finest." And I kind of had like that attitude afterwards. And then I spoke about this was an observation that happened to me. So I'm on the train station, right? Real quick. So I'm at the train station. There's a guy. I'm on one side of the bench and he's at the other. This is how he was. I was like, okay. I said, you on some drugs. And I could take a guess on which one it could be based upon. But the messed up part was he had some boots on. I'm like, damn, those are some nice looking boots. I said, those are some nice looking boots. Did he get them at Marshall's? This was part of the joke.
Mm.
Did he get them at Marshall's? TJ Maxx? Like, where did he get them? And then at one point he woke up. He was like, I said, okay, you have no teeth. You're definitely on heroin. You're definitely on heroin.
You sat next to a heroin addict with no teeth. You should
But
have picked the
great set of
stinky car.
boots though.
You should have picked the stinky car.
Mind you, this was on the platform. So it was just like, okay. I love how you're able to fall asleep with the roaring train. That's a skill in itself. Like I like to learn that kind of just.
He might have been the hardest working guy in the world too. I mean, I don't know, or he was on drugs. Maybe he was just really, really tired.
I know, but he had no teeth, and I was like, yeah. Usually, when you don't have any teeth and you didn't go to the dentist to get you your dentures, veneers, whatever the heck you could afford.
Right. He was missing
Um,
all of it.
huh? Yeah,
He was missing all of them. Oh, so
Yeah.
maybe he like pulled them out.
Oof.
But
Willingly
then,
though.
yeah, man, listen. I've come across people. I'm not going to say who they are, but I've come across people, elderly people within my life, who, yeah, you see them without them, and you're like freaked out because you're used to seeing them with them, and then once they don't have them in, you're like, oh my god. And sometimes
I
they're
didn't
uncomfortable.
listen. He didn't have them. He didn't have them like in his bag, or he didn't go like, "Here you go, wait a minute, you need more presentable."
It wasn't wrapped in a towel and in his pocket.
Wasn't wrapped in a towel, wasn't in a Ziploc, wasn't in a
I
washcloth.
mean, but that's my thing. It's life is all perception, right? So maybe the guy just did that. Like maybe he did have him wrapped in a towel and put in his pocket. And he just did that to keep people away from him. Like,
Yeah,
I look pretty damn
I want to
crazy
catch a
like
nap.
this. Yeah, I look pretty crazy like this. Nobody will come near me. He's either looking to catch a nap or something else.
Or some flies and roaches. Oh man,
Madness. Madness.
madness, madness. It's New York at its finest.
It sure is.
Tony, I thank you for this conversation. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I
Um,
appreciate you.
look out for this interview, folks.
I hope I hope you got what you needed out of this interview, and
we
hope
have
you, hope you get a great episode.
FYI disclaimer, I willingly asked him to participate in this interview. I am holding him. Just in case, I willingly asked him for his time to do this interview, folks. Just in
Yes.
case.
I said
I
yes.
did get what I needed. I got to show you who Tony Papadog is and how lovely of a person he is and how honest and sincere and valid he is. Yes. So just
Thank you.
letting y'all know. If you didn't know about him, now you're gonna know about him.
You
So
better
he's
know.
on all your streaming, he's all on your social media platforms. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
What else are you doing?
On Facebook, I'm Tony Papadog, Papadog. On Instagram, Tony P Comedy.